On the 30th of March 2020, I sent the following email to Maddie Binney. Dear Miss Binney, there is nowhere in any of the clips supplied where it shows I was wearing the black Carrymore coat because none were supplied. The black Carrymore coat was referred to in my application as a black hooded coat, and I walked into the police station with the hood up because of the weather and removed it immediately at approaching the enquiry office desk. I now remember that I wasn't wearing a baseball cap and had shaved my head and removed my beard, and I was wearing my spectacles. You already have these details, including dates and times. In my application, I referenced attending the enquiry desk on 4 separate days, with the last day stating that I attended twice. Would you like me to send a copy of the original application? I have no interest in people in the background whatsoever. Since when did someone's face become personal data? Personal data is some information with regards to an individual that is stored either electronically or as a hard copy for retrieval at a later date. I see people's faces every time I come into the vicinity of their being. As such, faces are not personal data, especially with people posting images of themselves on social media platforms. However, what they may be carrying about their person in the form of a letter, etc., or something in their wallet would be classed as personal data. I am trying to clarify what was being done behind the enquiry desk at the times I was in the enquiry's office. Public servants are not subject to the Data Protection Act 2018, and the quality of the footage would make it impossible to see any specific details displayed. Why is Melissa Cox not addressing this? Kind regards, Martin Glasgow. On the 30th of March 2020, I received the following email from Tara Swainson Jenkins, which reads, Dear Mr. Glasgow, thank you for your email. Your comments are noted and we will carry out further investigations and return to you as soon as possible. Kind regards. On the 9th of April 2020, I sent the following email to Tara Swainson Jenkins. Thank you for your response dated 30/03/2020 to my email of the same date of 10 days ago. Would you please supply an update to the further investigations on my application for CCTV, to which my comments were noted? Taking into account you already have in your possession the CCTV, in respect of that you would only need to supply it fully as a continuation from beginning to the end and unedited without the blanked areas. In respect to the CCTV your colleague neglected to supply, on the basis of that it was included in the original application, I can only come to the inference this was done deliberately. However, this email is not a repetitive request as it relates to and is concerning the same application, and in no way would be deemed as vexatious by any person of a sound and rational mind. Kind regards, Martin Glasgow. I received the following email dated 14th of April 2020 from Melissa Cox. Dear Mr. Glasgow, I can confirm your request is being looked at and we will respond in due course. I hope you understand that due to the current pandemic, the police are having to prioritise their work, but we will aim to respond before 26/04/2020. Under the Data Protection Act 2018 right of access, you are only entitled to your own personal data, not of third parties. Therefore, an unredacted copy of the footage will not be provided. I understand from reading your previous email you do not believe that an individual face is personal data. By way of explanation, personal data is anything which relates to or can identify a person. Therefore, this is why redactions have been made to the footage. Redactions have also been made behind the inquiry office, as this is an operational policing area which is not your personal data. The times which you have stated on your request, I retrieved the footage from our CCTV unit. I have then viewed the footage from the description you gave in your original request. I could not identify you on the 11/02/2020. I will happily re-look at this footage, taking into account the additional information you have provided to my colleague. As you can appreciate, the quality of the footage is not the greatest, but we try and do our best to identify individuals, and if we are not completely sure this is the correct person, we will not provide the footage, as this could potentially be a data protection breach, hence why we did not provide this footage. In regards to you attending the inquiry office twice on the 17/02/2020, I will view this footage again. However, I have specifically requested from CCTV from the time stated on your original request. Therefore, if you was at the inquiry office at a different time of day than stated on your request, I would not have the footage. Many thanks, Melissa Cox. I received the following letter dated 29 April 2020 from Mrs. C.A. South, which reads, Dear Mr. Glasgow, Data Protection Act 2018, Subject Access. I refer to your request for information which may be held about you by the Derbyshire Constabulary. The Data Protection Act places an obligation on the police when holding personal information to provide a copy of that information unless an exemption applies to the individual concerned. From the personal data supplied in your request, the information which the Chief Officer is required to supply under the provisions of the Act is enclosed, namely CCTV footage dated 11 February 2020. As a result of additional information, I have now been able to identify you and the relevant clips are enclosed. Unfortunately, the seized footage originally requested from the CCTV unit does not include footage of you attending the inquiry office a second time. Therefore, nothing further to disclose. I can only apologise for any inconvenience this may cause you. I also need to advise that the enclosed disk has been encrypted for security. The password to extract the data from the encrypted disk is the same as previously quoted. To find out more about other rights individuals have about their data, as well as how the constabulary manages personal data, we have produced a privacy notice which can be located at www.derbyshire.police.uk/documents/about-us/legal notice/privacy notice.pdf. If you think the information is incorrect, please write to the address at the foot of this letter quoting the reference number. Yours sincerely, Mrs. C.A. South, Disclosure Officer.